Okay, this is a Kobalt concrete mixer from Lowe's. I just purchased this yesterday to use a couple projects I need to get finished up around the house. It was right around $300 out the door, and we'll make a short video of what it's like unboxing it and putting it together, just in case somebody else is considering one of these. So take a look and hope it helps you out. Okay, here's the box for the Kobalt cement mixer, and I cut the straps off, and when you open it up, so on the top they have the hardware. Looks like it's one of the reinforcement plates for the stand, and the instruction pack. Okay, and the dimensions on the box are 22 by approximately 26, and we're 29.5 inches high. You might as well just call it 30 inches high. 22 by 26 by 30. And I brought it home hanging out of the trunk of a Buick, and after opening the box, I could have just opened the box at the home center, put the drum in the back seat, put the rest of the parts in the trunk, and then just broken down the box and driven home without it hanging out the back. But that's something I learned after the fact. Okay, when you take the foam off the top, this is what you have: a drum full of parts. And it looks like these are brackets for the stand. Big foam blocks in the corners to keep everything from shifting. Some more foam down here. Okay, let me lay it out and show you what it has for parts. Okay, I have all the parts out of the box now. It's the drum, and we have the metal parts for the stand, and that's the roller for the drum. 2 tires. Now these are, in the pictures they look pretty cheap, but these are actually like solid rubber, and they'll definitely take the load of the concrete, no problem. Here's the mixing motor assembly. It comes in its own box that's tucked into the drum, and the rest is all packaging material. It's all your foam, and all the tubes were wrapped in bubble wrap, so there's no scratches on the paint. Nice block of foam in the bottom of the box to support the bottom of the drum, and then all the corners are reinforced with this real hard cardboard. So looks like all the parts are in good shape and ready to put together. Let's take a look inside the drum real quick. And you can see the mixing paddle bars. There's 3 of them. And they just bolt through the outside here. It's pretty stiff, and it's a reinforced metal back plate. This is where the motor attaches, and it looks like there'll just be a rod or a pin going through to attach the shaft. Alright, let's put it together. And here's the specs on the mixer. This is what the assembly instructions look like. So they just walk you through putting the stand portion together first, putting the wheels on, assembling the motor, and the last step is putting the drum on. And then it has some pretty detailed operating instructions, which are good. Recommended way to load it, whether to have it on or off when you dump it, and how to take care of it. And it has a troubleshooting section here too. Okay, step 1 was attaching the bottom casting here to the rear leg and the bottom cross member. And it's fairly simple. One thing that's neat about what they did here is they have the hardware kind of segregated into these packages, and they're labeled with the lettering that's used in the manual. So they have only one kind of bolt per bag, so you don't have to look around and try to figure out the lengths of the bolts. Actually, I take that back. They have real big ones and real small ones here, but it's obvious. So don't need to run around with your tape measure and trying to figure out which bolt goes where. It's pretty simple if you just keep the hardware in the bags and pick from the bag. Okay, step 2 is to take the mount and rear leg assembly we just made and slide this pivot bar through the mount and through each of the front legs, and you put a cotter pin in there to hold it. And this is just balanced here for the time being, and the next step will be to put the support in that holds the front legs to the rear legs. Okay, and step 3 now is just to put the support assembly between the rear leg and the 2 front leg assembly, and that's just held in with 3 bolts and 3 nuts. Okay, step 4 is to put the front plate assembly on. It's just 4 bolts and 4 nuts to hold that. Okay, step 5 is to put the wheels on. It's just a shoulder bolt with a washer and a nut. Okay, and step 6 is complete. That's assembling the drum support bar to the 2 handles. One handle here and one handle here. And that's what that assembly looks like. That was 3 bolts and 3 nuts. Okay, step 7 is to mount the motor and gearbox assembly to the frame we just made up in step 6. And the hardware comes with the motor gearbox assembly, and it sticks through pretty far, so I had to use a 13mm deep socket to tighten that down. You could just use a wrench, but they're nylon insert lock nuts, and you'd be cranking quite a bit to get those tightened down, so a deep socket definitely comes in handy for step 7. And step 8 is to put the motor and frame assembly we made in step 6 and 7 up onto the pivot bar. And what you do is you get one U-bolt started on the frame, hold the frame up and slip it onto one end of the pivot bar, and then slip in the second U-bolt and put the nuts on, and then tighten everything down. Okay, step 9, we just set the drum up onto the mixer. It's sitting on the front rollers, and we slid the rear over the output shaft of the gearbox, and they have this pin that slides through, and then you put the cotter pin through and bend it over, and that's it. Alright, here's the assembled Kobalt concrete mixer. You undo that latch, and that lets you dump it. Alright, let's plug it in and hear it run. Okay, I got it plugged in. Let's see what happens. One thing I read in the reviews on this mixer was that it was a little too short for a standard wheelbarrow. So I've got my old wheelbarrow here, and let's see what happens. And yeah, it clears the lip just so. I can see if your wheelbarrow was any higher than this one, you'd have to block the wheels up, but it should work okay for my old wheelbarrow. Okay, hope this video is helpful. Thanks for watching.